यहाँ संभल कर कदम उठाना, ये करबला है, ये करबला।
The project that I'm standing on right now, famously known as the Karbala Project, is the history of how Imam Hussein was slain on the plains of Karbala. The journey is of the grandson of the Holy Prophet, Imam Hussein, third Imam to the Shia community. The project starts from Medina, where he was residing. Main reason Imam moved away from Medina heading towards Makkah to try and propagate the message of Islam even louder. He goes to Makkah and he is forced to leave from there as well. Imam leaves Makkah as well, heading towards a city called Kufa. The Kufians were sending him 1,000 letters telling him we are ready to support you. However, Imam Hussein was stopped on the way by Yazid's army again and forced to a barren land called Karbala. When Imam reaches Karbala, he pitches his tents right near the river to have water supply. However, on the 5th of Muharram, Yazid's army reaches Karbala in big numbers and they approached Imam and told him to move his tents away. Imam also shows some patience there, and Hazrat Abbas shows loyalty by agreeing to move behind, and they move their tents away, far away from the water. Upon moving their tents away, they implement the same strategy that Imam Ali had used. A place is now famously known as Kaimaga. Imam pitches his tents there from the 5th of Muharram all the way until the day of Ashur. Starting the 7th of Muharram, there was no water supply in the tents, and all the water that they had in storage was now over. Several companions of the Imam were martyred on the plains of Karbala, including Hazrat Hur. Hazrat Hur was one of the first martyrs in the plains of Karbala because he felt guilty for what he did. After the companions of the Imam had been martyred, it was a time for Imam's family. When all the companions and the family members of Imam Hussein were martyred, it was now time for Imam Hussein to go. He stands in the middle of the battle, he shouts out, "Hal min Nasrin yansurna." At that time, a sudden cry is heard from the tents, and it was a 6-month-old baby, Hazrat al-Yazgar alayhi salam. Imam Hussein takes Hazrat al-Yazgar to the battlefield, he puts him on the ground. What wrong has he done to you? Help him with some water. And if you feel that I will drink that water you intend to give him, he leaves the son on the ground and says, "Here's my son, take him and give him some water." Many people from Yazid's army turned their backs away, knowing what they were doing is wrong. However, the commander-in-chief of Yazid's army in Karbala at that time commands Hurmala. It should be noted that Hurmala was the best shooters in the Arabian city at that time. Hurmala takes a 3-headed arrow, which is normally used to hunt camels and animals. He uses that arrow on a 6-month-old baby, on Hazrat al-Yazgar alayhi salam. Blood starts dripping after the arrow struck Hazrat al-Yazgar's throat, and Imam wants to throw the blood on the sky, and the sky calls out, "I will not rain until the day of judgment. This blood is too innocent for me." Imam wants to pour the blood on the ground, and the ground calls out, "I will not grow vegetation until the day of judgment." Imam alayhi salam has no option but to rub the blood on his beard. Oftentimes, when a child gets hurt, the mom cannot bear it. However, here we have a slain son, a thirsty slain son, and Imam's duty is now to take that child to his mom. It is reported Imam walked 7 times saying, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun, ridham bikadai wa tasliman li amri." It was now time for Imam Hussein alayhi salam to go into the plains of Karbala. It is reported that he fights a brave war on the battlefield. He killed several people until a time comes that there was a sound from the sky, and those are the last 3 verses of Surah Fajr. Upon hearing that, Imam Hussein alayhi salam puts back his sword. He goes into the state of sujood and he calls out, "O stones, O arrows, O spears, come to me, come to me, come to me." When Imam fell on the ground, his body was neither on the land, neither in the sky. Instead, it was between arrows. It was now time for Imam to be beheaded, and no one from Yazid's army wants to move forward. However, Shimr, the commander-in-chief of Yazid's army in Karbala, stands up and takes a blunt sword, and he goes towards the Imam alayhi salam. He kicks Imam Hussein alayhi salam and sits on his chest. At that time, Bibi Zainab comes out running from the tents and she stands up on the mountain that's now famously known as Tila Zainabiyya. Imam Hussein tells Bibi Zainab, "Oh Zainab, go back to your tents, your brother is still alive." That signifies the importance of our hijab today. Bibi Zainab goes back to the tents. It is reported that Shimr slain Imam Hussein alayhi salam 13 times before he could behead Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Yazid's army goes back into their tents. They burn their tents. They snatch away the hijab of the ladies. They also snatch away the earrings that Bibi Sakina was wearing. They slap Bibi Sakina every time she cries out for her father. And the ladies were finally made to walk from Karbala all the way to Kufa, and from Kufa all the way to Sham, where they were put in jail, until finally released by Yazid himself to go towards their home. Thank you so much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.